planning board meeting for June 10th of 2020. This is being recorded, but if anybody else is recording it, you just need to let us know. Okay. 7 o'clock, town planners report.
Good evening, how's everybody? We'll start off. Public Works has asked for a bond revision for the Greens West on Sawgrass Lane. I know we're going to talk about that later, but it's just part of the planners report. We got questions on the A&R and Granville Road. We just received the plans as of yesterday. It's an A&R that was approved back in 1999. It was never filed, and now we have a new map for filing purposes. We've also received a proposed application for mixed use for 772 and 774 College Highway. It's for Dr. Waltz, who's a dentist, and he has offices with apartments on the second floor in the BR zone. They're hoping that can be scheduled for the June 30th meeting. I've also received calls from Mr. Baker and Mr. Grimaldi regarding the solar bylaw. They understand because of the virus that we haven't had anything to look at. They were just calling to get an update. Also, I've gotten calls from the Verizon cell tower, which I will talk about that later. What do we have a date for their meeting? And I have numerous questions and calls on number 90, 101, and 106 Point Grove Road. It's regarding NORA's, the Walk on the Water, and the Cove. Chen is trying to find out more parking areas. And 79 Mort Vining Road, it's on a state lot that's off of College Highway, right across from the Shell gas station. And he has other questions on how to get his driveway in, whether he can use a common driveway that's illegal. I told him he can't do that. His neighbor on Davis Road won't allow him to come across his property. And I said, well, you're basically going to have to stay. Attorney Begling gave us a recommendation that the driveway has to stay within the 50-foot right-of-way from College Highway. And that's it as far as, there's been numerous minor things, but I don't want to take up the time tonight. And that's it.
Okay. 7:10, public comments. Does anybody have something that's not on the agenda tonight that they want to bring up to us?
Do we know who Moto Z3 is? It's muted unless maybe someone wants to talk.
Hi, I'm all set. Karen Taravella, 1-2 States Ave.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Her application,
that for me, please.
Her application's later on tonight.
Yep.
What was the name again?
Karen Taravella.
Oh boy, could you spell that for me?
Karen Taravella.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So 7:15, we have the 7 and 9 Lakeview Street, 90 Point Grove Road, stormwater permit public hearing.
Yep. Do you want me to start now?
Just give me 1 minute. Let me just read in the notice of public hearing, and then I will turn it over to you.
Sure.
All right. Well, first, let me just preface this by saying that these hearings were noticed for last night, June 9th, but because it was an election night, we were unable to have it. We also didn't have a quorum at that time, so we continued the meeting till today. and gave all the pertinent individuals notice of it. So the notice of public hearing notice is hereby given in accordance with the provision of Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 11, that the planning board will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 9th, 2020 at 7:15 p.m. via Zoom on an application by Anthony LaCorey for a stormwater management permit for property located at 7 and 9 Lakeview Street and 90 Point Grove Road, zoned as residential R20 and B zone. The property is shown on current assessor's map 114, parcels 78, 80, 80.1, and 80.2. Zoom meeting ID and telephone access is provided. The applicant proposes to construct 2 single-family homes that in total disturb more than 1 acre of land, therefore requiring a permit in accordance with the Code of Southwick Zoning Bylaws, Chapter 185, Sections 9, 13, 16, and 36.1. Copy of the application and the plans may be inspected by contacting the town planner, Alan Slessler, at his email. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the application should appear at the time and manner designated. Michael Doherty, Chairperson, Southwick Planning Board. I do have some comments by Randy, who's also on the meeting tonight. And actually, just so that we identify who's here, the entire board except for Dave Spina is here. Oh no, Dave Spina is here. Joe, I think that is malicious. Joe Didi, I think, is here. There he is. Philippe is here. Randy's here. Megan's here, and Karen Taravella are here at the meeting, at the Zoom meeting. So Philippe, why don't you give us your presentation, and then we can ask any questions we have.
Sure. Alan, is there any way that I can share the plan?
Oh,
Or Mike?
oh, Doug, did you already do it? Okay. You should be able to do it now.
Got it. Yep. Here we go. All right. So good evening. For the record, my name is Philippe Cravo of Arlevec Associates, here representing the applicant, LTM Realty, technically LTM Realty LLC, which is Anthony LaCorey, for the stormwater permit application for the 2 proposed residential homes at 7 and 9 Lakeview Street. The plan you see in front of you is the updated version of probably the plan you've seen. I believe the application plan that you have, they were only proposing to build this house at this time, but the applicant has requested to also include the other home because they want to build it now as well. So in general, these are the 2 properties directly behind the Cove. So this building, the Cove, Point Grove Road, is to the southwest here, running up and down the page here. Lakeview Street's to the bottom of the page. I guess one statement is that we have been before conservation and it's been approved with an order of conditions for work within the floodplain adjacent to the North Pond. So that's what all the grading you see on the plan is for. It's to provide compensatory storage to get these homes above the flood elevation. That being said, in regard to stormwater, we have prepared the stormwater application, and what we're doing is we are proposing to infiltrate the roof runoff. It's been reviewed by DPW. I believe all the stormwater, specifically the stormwater comments, have been addressed. There are a few comments in regard to other utility connections, in regard to the sewer and water connections or the wells proposed on the properties. But in terms of sewer, stormwater, everything has been addressed with the DPW. I guess what we're proposing is, tie the roof drains to these subsurface infiltration systems as shown on the plan here. So in a nutshell, that's the stormwater permit application, in which I guess the applicability of the stormwater permit is that these development, the construction of these 2 homes, it disturbs more than an acre of land. So if you have any questions specifically, I can try to answer them, but this is the plan that is being proposed in front of you.
Mike, Dave Sutton's not here, correct?
Oh, Dave Sutton is here.
Oh, he is, okay. So Jessica, it doesn't have to be a voting member?
I will designate her just so that she has the ability to weigh in on it and vote on it. But so thank you for reminding me, despite my giant note here that says designate.
Okay,
So yeah, we have everybody here, but we can designate her just to include her into the decision. Philippe, I will read into the record the comments that Randy Brown had. He can certainly add on or put anything else in since he's on, but let me just, so we have a record of it, what he submitted.
Sure.
So DPH reviewed the revised plans for 7 and 9 Lakeview Street prepared by R. Levesque Associates dated 6/3/20, provides the following comments. Prior to abandoning the existing sewer service and installing new sewer services, the applicant shall notify the Public Works and complete a new sewer service application. Town staff should witness the abandonment work. 2, considering the applicant plans to construct private wells in lieu of a connection to the town's water system, a town-issued meter and meter reading device shall be installed on each water service. These meter readings will be used to develop the sewer bills. 3, DPW understands that the Cove at 90 Point Grove Road will require a separate permit once the planned reuse of that facility is identified. There are a few issues that will need to be addressed at that time, including a recalculation of available overflow parking in the rear of the building and the existing grease trap, which may or may not be suitable for the reuse. 4, the driveway should be constructed with a minimum 2% cross slope to shed the water towards the driveway shoulder and not towards the house. 5, the applicant shall secure a trench permit in advance of any excavation for the buried sewer services and utility services. So those are the comments from Randy. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Randy?
No, I think they're pretty self-explanatory.
Okay. All right.
Mike,
anything-
some of the comments, Randy and I try to be inclusive. We try to look outside the box, but basically a lot of what's there is it's going to have to be followed by the developer and contractor. But most of it doesn't have to do with stormwater management.
Yep.
Which I'm just trying to clarify. When we look at a project, we look at it as inclusively, and Randy is very good at giving us these comments. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, no, and I fully understand. I mean, these seem to be pretty common ones that come along with these applications. Any board members have any questions or comments on this application?
Why are you doing a well instead of town water?
So the town water is in Point Grove Road. So there's no water main in Lakeview Street too.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments by board members?
Michael,
Yes.
Marcus Phelps here. Are these 2 A&R lots?
They've already been approved as A&R lots. They came before the board last year, and there was some revisions to make them A&R, and it was approved.
Okay, and they're all in the R20 zone?
They're in the R20 zone. Part of the grading is underneath the old cove. That's why they're included, number 90 Point Grove Road.
Oh, I see. Oh, I wondered about that. And that's B zone, right?
That's the B zone. You can see Philippe looks like he's trying to circle the R20 versus the B zone.
Oh, I see the line. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So the line's right here.
Yeah. But the lot itself, where the house is going to be, is R20.
Correct.
Both of the houses, yes.
Okay.
Any other
And
questions?
as you can see, the one lot is where the existing pavilion is now, and that's being knocked down, and a house being put up on that particular area. Just to give you, everyone must know where where the pavilion used to be.
Any other questions or comments from board members? Any questions from town officials? Okay. Any members of the public have any questions or comments? All right. So do I hear a motion to close this hearing?
So moved.
That was Dick who moved. Do I hear a second?
Marcus Phelps, second.
Second,
Whatever.
or Dave, either one.
Either one. Dave Spina or Marcus Phelps. Take a choice.
We'll let Dave get into the fun here since he missed the last one.
Awesome.
All right. We'll do since we're doing it by Zoom, we'll do a roll call vote. Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Richard Ottinger, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Jessica Thornton, aye.
Okay. All right. I don't see any distinct things that need to be discussed as far as terms or conditions.
As far as the conditions, Michael, what we can do is we can make conditions as approved by the Director of Public Works.
No, right. And I think that's in is that in the typical
Yes, yes.
one? Yeah, no, I'm just referring to, sort of outside the ordinary ones that I may want to put into the speaking motion.
We got the sewer abandonment, new connection to the sewer line.
Yes, that's shown on the plans.
It was to be witnessed by the DPW or
DPW.
in Randy's comments.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So do I hear a motion to approve a stormwater management permit for 7 and 9 Lakeview Street, 90 Point Grove Road, with the condition regarding witnessing the abandonment work?
Marcus Phelps, so moved.
Richard Ottinger, second.
Do a roll call vote. Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Richard Ottinger, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Jessica Thornton, aye.
All right. We will get that decision together. And Philippe, I know you still got a few more things, but we'll have that for the next meeting, which is June 30th.
Okay.
The decisions that arise out of tonight should, they're pretty straightforward. So I imagine they'll all be completed by and discussed at our June 30th meeting.
Okay.
All right.
Very good.
Okay. So next on the agenda, 730, 108, 110, and 112 Sunnyside for a stormwater management permit. Let me grab the folder. Okay. Again, with the same caveat about the hearing date and the change to today. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the provision of Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 11, that the Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 9th, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. via Zoom on an application by Kudlick Brothers LLC for a special permit and stormwater management permit for property located on Sunnyside Road, zoned as R40. The property is shown on Assessor's Map 718, parcel 19, 19.1 and 25. Zoom meeting ID and telephone access information provided. The applicant proposes to build 3 homes on the property in accordance with the Code of Southwick zoning bylaws, Chapter 185, Sections 9, 12, and 36.1. Copy of the application and the plans may be inspected by contacting the town planner, Alan Sussman, at his email. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the application should appear at the time and manner designated. Michael Doherty, Chairperson, Southwick Planning Board. All right. Same procedure. Philippe will do your presentation, and I have a few comments from DPW, which you were kind enough last time to put up on the screen as well, and we'll do the same thing.
All right, very good. I guess for the record, Philippe Cravo of our Levesque Associates here presenting the stormwater application for the proposed development of 3 residential homes off of Sunnyside Road, specifically 108, 110, and 112 Sunnyside Road. The application has been reviewed by DPW in regard to the stormwater, the proposed stormwater mitigation. And the way what we're doing is essentially for the homes up along Sunnyside Road, there will be dry wells installed that will capture the roof drain leaders and tie them into dry wells in order for them to be infiltrated into the ground. Specifically for this application, if I could just pull it up, is that we had requested some waivers of some sections of the bylaw in terms of the stormwater management information, specifically chapter 185, 185 section 36.1.h 4K, that the existing and proposed vegetation and ground surfaces with runoff coefficients for each be waived. For I, a drainage area map showing pre and post construction watershed boundaries, drainage area and stormwater paths, and 4Q3C, expected hydrology with supporting calculations. And I guess the reasoning behind that is that, you know, as part of the stormwater management policy from DEP is that, you know, if any of one of these individual lots were to be developed on their own, you know, specific drainage calculations would not be required, but they're subject to the Southwick stormwater bylaw as they disturb more than an acre as a whole, as the whole development. So that's just something to keep it, you know, some waivers that will be addressed as part of the application. But that being said, there were some comments made by DPW. I can pull that email up, I believe.
Yeah, and I can just read them in just so we have them on the record.
Okay.
And 2 things, I'm getting closer to the beginning. Why don't we designate Jessica as a voting member on this one? Maybe the 3rd try we'll do it at the beginning. And Philippe, just, you know, and this is just referring back, but since we're doing it this way and I don't have everything in front of me, were there any waivers for that prior one that we just didn't talk about?
No, there were no waivers for the previous.
I assumed you mentioned it and I forgot to ask, so I just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
Okay. So I just put it there. All right. So DPW comments on the Sunnyside Road application. Here are DPW's comments on the plans and stormwater reports submitted for 108, 110, and 112 Sunnyside Road dated 4/13/2020 as prepared by R. Levesque Associates. Lots for 108 and 110 show proposed dry wells to capture and infiltrate runoff from the roof downspouts. The applicant should perform test pits in the locations of these dry wells to confirm seasonal groundwater levels. Per guidance in the Massachusetts Stormwater Handbook, there should be at least 2 feet separation between the dry wells and groundwater level. If this separation is not possible, the applicant should consider evaluating horizontal infiltrators instead. Second, unlike the other 2 lots, the lot for 112 does not show proposed dry wells or similar stormwater controls. Considering that more than 1 acre will be disturbed on this lot. On-site stormwater controls should be provided on this lot that meet the stormwater standards per town bylaw 185, 36.1 D1. Third, police and fire department should provide input on the proposed driveway to 112 and whether any additional pull-off areas are necessary. Finally, DPW is concerned about line of sight visibility at the driveway's locations. The current plans show separate driveways for each lot. However, in prior correspondence, the applicant noted they would be willing to discuss options to address this concern. The safety officer should also be involved in these discussions. Randy, is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, nothing more to add, but we should talk about these items maybe one at a time. Maybe Philippe can comment on them.
Yep, I think that's the way to go. So Philippe, if you could just kind of go through these,
Sure.
that would be great.
Yep. Number one, the lots for 108, 110 show proposed dry wells. And in regard to the, test pits for the separation of groundwater, that's certainly doable. We'll certainly dig some test pits prior to construction. Just wanted to highlight that these two lots up here will be in a fill situation, a fill scenario, in order to come up closer to level with the road. Because right now, if you look at the roadway elevations, they're 105, let's call it right here, 103 right at the property line between the two lots. And then where the house is being built are 99, 98, and they're being proposed to be filled up to 105. So essentially level with the road. And that'll bring the houses up higher, and also obviously the dry wells up higher. So I don't anticipate there being an issue with the separation to groundwater, but it's always good to dig the test pits and confirm that and modify as needed. So that's reasonably addressed comment. And the other one was in regard to 112. Let me just pull it back up. Unlike the other two lots, the lot for 112 does not show proposed dry wells for stormwater controls. So that is something that we are certainly open to doing. So 112. So these are two lots that would be have frontage directly off Sunnyside. This is in a lot where the house is set farther back into the property, much farther back. So here's the driveway, you drive back out, and then here's the continuation of the driveway out to the property here, or to the proposed house location here. So, same situation scenario, dig some test pits, confirm groundwater, and add some dry wells. So I think those are two logical comments that can be pretty readily resolved.
Philippe, before we just move on, Randy, is that acceptable in your mind as you're thinking about it now?
Yeah, that's fine. Yep, I agree with his assessment. That's fine.
Right.
Michael, also, just for a point of reference, 112 is an estate lot. It was approved as part of an A&R. And when they do come in for a permit for the estate lot, they have to come in for planning because the plans will have to be reviewed by the police and fire for possible turnoffs and grades. So again, 112 will have to come back in for additional approval.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Okay.
Yep, and I believe that kind of segues into the next two comments, which are more, planning related versus the stormwater application related. Police and fire should provide the input on the proposed driveway. As Alan said, just due to the length, you don't want to have two cars kind of head on and not be able to pull off anywhere. And the last one, DPW has a concern with the line of sight visibility at the driveway locations. So if I can show you here, Sunnyside Road. There's a crest in Sunnyside Road, so to the left of the page is you're heading towards Westfield, if you towards the left. So this is the crest in the road where the two driveways for 112 and 110. So plenty of site visibility. I guess concern would be for at the lower elevations for 108. Coming up this hill on the other side, not having potential site visibility, site distance to a car coming out of this driveway. But those are comments that can be addressed when we come back to the planning board.
Yeah, they'll all have to be addressed by Randy's the one who issues the driveway permits, as well as the input from the safety officer before they're allowed to have a building permit. But again, it's good to be inclusive at this time to make the applicants aware of what has to happen.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, so lots 108 and 110, are those A&R lots? Would they need any separate approval after today?
No, they just need the stormwater management.
Just
They would just
stormwater.
need they would need building permits and they would need driveway permits.
Correct.
Which may cover those concerns. That's what I'm trying to think through, is whether
I got you. Yep.
we need to put anything in the decision now, or whether that's something, Randy, that you can just, have in your file and deal with when they come to you for the driveway.
Yeah, I guess my concern is if they want to modify their driveway location for 108 and make that a common driveway, and that would require a meeting with approval through planning board.
Right, if they're going to do a common driveway, that has to be approved by the planning board.
So either way, it's going to get in front of someone.
A couple times.
It seems like there's more opportunity for a common driveway with 110 and 112 because the other one at 108 is, quite a ways to the east on Sunnyside.
Yeah, the problem, Mark, that's a problem that would have to be resolved because our common driveways state that a driveway, an estate lot can support a common driveway, but a common driveway can't come into the road. In other words, 112 can't join into 110. 110 can join into 112.
Okay.
Also, the driveway that I'm most concerned about is number 108 in terms of visibility.
Right.
Yeah.
110, 112 are at the crest of the hill, and I think there's likely adequate line of sight. 108 is the one I'm concerned about.
Yeah, there was talk with the previous safety officer about looking at possibly changing some of Sunnyside Road, but that seemed like it would be very costly for one single home. But I think the new safety officer should be involved in it.
And you're not, it brought up the common driveway for 108, but if you do a common driveway for 108 and 110, that's just making it worse, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. Because the peak of the crest of the hill is around 112, 110.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know how you could get 108 over to that area. That's a long ways. Seems like anyway.
Right. So it seems, just from a logistical standpoint, that this is something that, whether it's done through common driveway or driveway permit, it's going to have to come either to the planning board or to Randy down the line, and will get addressed by one of us and the safety officer. But it may be something, Philippe, that is worth doing sooner rather than later, just because of the logistics of it and getting into it. You may want to figure that one out
Sure.
now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But as far as just monitoring it and having approval of it, unless someone tells me differently, it sounds like there is a check in place to deal with that later on down the line.
Correct.
So the stormwater permit is, it's effectively the area where the two homes are and then part of the estate lot. And
Yes,
the rest of it down the road across the lowland, wetlands there is not, doesn't need stormwater permit?
No, I believe the stormwater permit was for all three addresses. I
Yeah,
got to your question.
Okay, but the disturbance is really down closer to Sunnyside or on that estate lot, future estate lot, that's,
Yeah, so, in order to get the driveway, obviously it's a pretty long driveway and the threshold is area of disturbance. So in order to build the driveway, we're exceeding the threshold for the acre of disturbance.
so I'm wondering, because that 112 is going to have to be approved as an estate lot, we do that as a package, the estate lot and stormwater permit, and just do a stormwater permit for lots 108 and 110.
well, Marcus, the grading that he's showing off of Sunnyside
Yeah,
is the critical drainage. The rest of the grades, looking at them, that's existing, it's minimal. Basically, they're going to be putting the driveway in at grade itself. That's why it's included into the in the driveway stormwater right now. And yes, that driveway will have to meet the minimum requirements of 9% turnoffs. But I think the bulk of the disturbance is for the three lots that, how they abut Sunnyside and how that's being handled. I think the rest is going to be mostly sheet flow. Is that right, Philip?
Yes, yep, correct. You got it.
okay, so if we do a stormwater permit for all three, and then they'll come in for an estate lot for 112, they'll reference that they already have a stormwater permit then, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board?
Just another observation. This was the Larry Banish piece originally,
Yes.
Yes.
And-
Yep.
and the open land starts at 108 is where the field starts then, and it goes west.
Goes west. Yep.
And then there's two existing homes now, farther down Sunnyside. They're on the other side of that wetland area.
Yeah. There's right.
They're over there.
Yeah,
Okay.
before you get to the town line, I believe there are a couple homes or parcels. I think
Because we
there's two more.
oh, wow. So it's farther down than where I was thinking originally. There's two homes now
Yes.
in that open area.
I believe there's also a current house on lot 24. It's not shown on that plan, but I believe lot 24 is built.
Yeah, that's the one that's very high because they had to pull it up for
Okay, now,
septic system.
all right. Yeah.
Where these lots are right now, there's a large pile of dirt that's been out there for 10
Oh,
years.
yeah. Okay. So we looked at something a long time ago. Mr. Banish was proposing something out of this, and I think 19, maybe lot 1 was also part of that whole proposed development, seems like, but okay. I know where we are now. Yeah,
Yeah, conservation has reviewed this and they've given it its blessing.
okay.
All right. Any other comments or questions from board members? All right. Any comments or questions from town officials? No? Okay. Any members of the public who want to weigh in?
I'll weigh in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, just if you could, just please state your name and
My
your
name-
address.
My name is Joel Lund. I live at 25 Radisson Lane, and I represent Radisson Heights Homeowners Association.
Okay.
So just a comment, I obviously see that you're crossing the creek when you develop that private drive to the home. So the only concern I would have is that that's reviewed in detail. So if there's heavy rains or flooding, it doesn't restrict the drainage that might interfere or go onto property of Radisson Heights. But beyond that, that's all, just a comment and a concern.
Yeah, that culvert has already been in place. And
Okay.
it's been reviewed by Conservation as well as the DEP.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the public? Okay. So do I hear a motion to close the hearing?
Marcus Phelps, so moved.
A
Richard
second?
Ottinger, second.
We'll do a roll call vote. Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Richard Ottinger, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Jessica Thornton, I.
Okay. So for the motion, so do I hear a motion to approve a stormwater management permit for 108, 110, and 112 Sunnyside Road, which, in addition to the usual terms and conditions, would also indicate that the applicant should perform test pits in the location of dry wells that are shown on 108 and 110, and to include a dry well on 112 and perform the test pits here. As well as the separation amounts and recommendations of DPW in that regard.
Marcus Phelps, so moved.
Richard Ottinger, second.
Dave Spina, second.
Go for it, Dave.
All right, we'll let Dave second on that one. We'll do a roll call vote. Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Richard Ottinger, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Jessica Thornton, I.
Okay. Again, so that'll be written up and we can consider the decision on June 30th. And yeah, I think that's it for that. Okay. So now we are actually on schedule somewhat. Shocking. 7:45, 1-2 States Avenue Stormwater Management Permit. Let me grab the notice. All right. Again, with the same caveat about the date of the hearing, was mentioned in the first hearing of the night. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the provisions of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 11, that the Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 9, 2020 at 7:45 p.m. via Zoom on an application by Edward and Karen Taravella for a special permit and stormwater management permit for property located on 2 States Avenue, zoned as R20. The property is shown on current assessor's map 123, parcels 40.1, 40.2, 40.3, and 56. Zoom meeting ID and telephone access information provided. The applicant proposes to build one home on the property in accordance with the Code of Southwick Zoning Bylaw, Chapter 185, Section 9, 13, and 36.1. Copy of the application and the plans may be inspected by contacting the town planner, Alan Sussler, at his email. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the application should appear at the time and manner designated. Michael Doherty, Chairperson, Suffolk Planning Board. Why don't we designate Jessica Thornton as a voting member on this one? Is this, Alan, is this one Philippe as well, or is he?
Philippe also, yeah, we'll give you three strikes and he's out.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought. All right.
It's still going.
It's the Arlevec Philippe show.
Hey, it's the show. I haven't had one of these in a while. I guess good evening. For the record, Philippe Cravo, our Levesque Associates, here presenting the stormwater application for the proposed single-family home at 2 States Avenue. The application is in regard to the proposed single-family home to be constructed as shown on this plan. Let me zoom in a little bit. Driveway access will be off of 2 States Avenue here,
Where?
leading up to the proposed single-family home. Will require some grading around the site. The parcel has frontage on 2 States, but it also has some frontage on Middle Pond here. This irregularly shaped lot ultimately has frontage on Middle Pond down here. The proposed application has been reviewed by DPW. We do have some comments from them as well, similar to the previous applications. Also, as part of this application, we did go through the Chapter 185, Section 36, and are requesting some waivers similar to the previous application. Pretty much identical, but I can run through those specifically. So as part of the application, we're requesting the waivers from Section Chapter 185, Section 36.1.H. 4K, the existing and proposed vegetation and ground surfaces with runoff coefficients for each. 4I, drainage area map showing pre and post construction watershed boundaries, drainage area, and stormwater flow paths. 4Q3C, expected hydrology and supporting calculations. Basically, because it's a single family, the stormwater management standards, aren't necessarily applicable. They're applicable under the Southwick bylaw due to the area of disturbance being greater than an acre, mostly associated with the driveway getting down there and the grading around the house. That being said, the DPW comments that we have, I can pull those up and just to follow the same process that we've been doing. There we go.
Yeah, and I'll just read them into the record, Philippe, so that everybody can hear them. If there's any issues with looking them on the screen. DPW reviewed the plans for 2 States Avenue, was prepared by our Levesque Associates dated 5/12/2020 and provides the following comments. 1, there is a town-maintained drainage system in place in the gully at the end of Grove Street. The applicant shall take precautions to avoid disturbing or damaging that drainage system at all times. 2, the applicant has requested a waiver to provide on-site stormwater controls to meet the stormwater standards per town bylaw 185 36.1 D1A. In lieu of meeting these standards, the applicant is proposing to install 2 dry wells to collect and infiltrate roof water. Considering this is a single-family house and any additional, I assume,
Area.
Water
the
flow.
additional water from the park will likely flow directly into Middle Pond and not towards private property. DPW is amenable to this waiver. 3, the plan shows a private well for domestic water. However, the owners are currently evaluating other options, including connecting to the municipal water system on Grove Street or Point Grove Road. If the owner wishes to keep a private well as shown on the plans, DPW recommends coordinating with Board of Health to confirm the suitability of the proposed dry well. in close proximity to the drinking water well as shown on the plan. 4, considering the significant change in grade and potential to contaminate Middle Pond, DPW recommends a hay bale and silt fence barrier down gradient of the work near the end of Grove Street. In addition, any slopes greater than 3.1 should be protected using erosion controls blankets. All right. Sorry, Randy, I try to correct whenever there's a word missing and I couldn't figure that one out quick enough.
No, you're correct. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. So, Philippe, why don't we just kind of take these in order as we did before and go through them? Actually, Randy, is there anything else you wanted to add before I do that?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so number 1, there's a town-maintained drainage system in the gully at the end of Grove Street. So that is, here's the end of Grove Street. I assume it's down here somewhere.
Right up in the northeast corner, right around in there.
Right around in
And it
here.
goes out into Grove Street.
Okay. So certainly we wouldn't change any of the existing drainage patterns of that site, of that discharge. So,
And I met with the applicant a couple weeks ago, and I showed them where that drainage system is located. So
We'll just keep that in there as a, as a condition or just a reminder when it's in the decision.
yep, that'd be good.
Number 2 is in regards to the requested waivers for the stormwater per the bylaw. I guess 2 dry wells are being proposed to infiltrate the roof water, considering single-family home. Any additional parcel from the parcel will be directly discharged towards Middle Pond and not towards private property. DPW is amenable to this waiver. So essentially, that's in regard to the dry well, capturing the roof runoff and infiltrating the roof runoff. So that's in regard to the waivers. And then number 3, the plan shows a private well for domestic water. However, the owners are currently evaluating other options connecting to Grove Street or Point Grove Road. So that's Grove Street is obviously here. Point Grove Road is farther. You probably go straight across somehow, an easement or something, because Point Grove Road is over on the right side of the page. And, any well locations that are being shown would certainly be evaluated in relation to dry wells or septic systems and things like that. So it's flexible as to where the well location can be, as long as we're outside all the setbacks and things like that, and they decide to take that route. Number 4, considering the significant change in grade and potential to contaminate Middle Pond, DPW recommends hay bale and silt fence barrier down gradient near the end of Point Grove Road. And any slopes greater than 3:1 should be protected using erosion control blankets. So that's certainly reasonable. We do have a silt fence shown on the plan here, but we can indicate on the plans to add erosion control to all the 3:1 slopes on the plan, which is down here at these lower elevations. That's the comments from DPW.
Just for the board to know that this land was all owned by Norman Story, and he had put together 4 different parcels to create this one larger lot. It's behind the old DFW, and he had come in for an A&R to make one large lot, as you're seeing right now.
Right. This is the one that has that tail at the end there.
Yeah, at one time he tried to get into multiple homes,
Yeah.
but through the advice of the planning board, he opted to go, well, he sold it, and the people are just doing one now.
Okay. So it sounds like we'll put from the comments from the DPW 1, 3, and 4. We'll just kind of note in there as what they call them in the terms and conditions section. There'll be more recommendations or reminders. Randy, otherwise you're okay with the waivers that are requested?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Philippe, that you had?
Nope, no, not specifically.
Any questions or comments from the board members?
Marcus Phelps here. I'm wondering, what is that structure to the left of the house? It looks like something just north of the well site.
Brick patio.
The patio, staircase and patio.
See the cross hatching in front of it and to the garage. It's going to be an access and stairway down to a lower patio.
Okay.
All right. Any other, yeah, any other comments by the board members?
No.
Okay. Any questions or comments by town officials? All right. And I'm going to open it up to the public, but one thing I asked, because we are doing it in this manner, if the folks, and I can kind of go through and see here, could just identify yourself, because we don't have a sign-in sheet necessarily, as we would if we were holding a regular public hearing at Town Hall. So I see let's see as I go through this. Rick and Francine Tierney.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. I see Michael Orzalak. I can't read the remainder of that one.
Yep, and Molly Troy, yep.
Okay. I see Karen Taravella, who identified herself earlier, who's the applicant. I see a Carla Hoffman.
Yes.
Okay. And is there anybody else who is on for this hearing or participating in the Zoom meeting? Okay. I think I got everybody. All right. So anybody from the public who have any questions or comments who want to be heard? Please just identify yourself with your name and address before you speak.
This is Rick Tierney. I live at 8 Two States Ave.
Okay.
My wife and I were just concerned with the driveway location, and with Levesque's print, it shows it is, if you approve this, he cannot change the location.
So the driveway still requires a permit.
Okay.
This is what they're here for solely as a stormwater management permit.
Right.
They would have to go and get from the DPW a driveway permit. That is, Philippe can certainly offer more, or the applicant, but this is some level of planning, designed enough that they can figure out the stormwater management. Looking at the detail of this, it looks like that's pretty far along, and I expect that that's where it's coming, but they can certainly fill in more.
Sure. I mean, the driveway location is proposed off of Two States Ave, where it makes the most sense as far as grades are concerned, as well as impact to adjacent vegetation. So these bubble lines here represent the existing tree lines. We're trying to, get right in between, looks like a break in the tree lines to to install the driveway.
Right. Okay.
Right, the driveway, basically, if you've been by there, they've got a chain across it. And it's like a logging type road when the logger went in. So that's the location that is shown on the plan.
Very good. Thank you.
Mr. Tierney, can I ask what your concern is about the location?
The street is very narrow. I'm sure you've been down to look at it. We just were concerned with it coming closer to the end of the street because there's not much room there. The Levesque's drawing shows that Two States Ave goes quite a ways down, but we've always been told that right where that corner is, from there on, it's a private road. That's what we've always been told. That's what our deed says.
And you don't plow there.
And the town of Southwick always lifts up their plow. But that's another story. But we were just concerned, but if that's where it stays, that's great. That's excellent. It's
And then likewise, Randy, there were some concerns with the people on Grove Street, whether they would gain access from Grove Street. But as one can see, the grade is very steep, and it would not be a logical area for it to go into. And that's why this location is more preferable. I know I had talked to a couple of people, and I actually sent them Philippe's plans as well as drainage calcs as requested.
Yeah, I believe when Mr. Story tried to get this lot approved as an A&R lot several years ago, he identified at that time that the access would be off of Two States Avenue. And just to comment on one thing that Mr. Tierney made a minute ago, the entire length of Two States Avenue is considered a private road, all the way from Point Grove Road all the way to the end.
yes. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions or comments by members of the public? Okay. So do I hear a motion to close the hearing?
Marcus Phelps, so moved.
Richard Ottinger, second.
I'll do a roll call vote. Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Richard Ottinger, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Jessica Thornton, aye.
Okay. So I will ask for a motion to grant a stormwater management permit with the addition that paragraphs 1, 3, and 4, or at least the substance thereof, will be included in the decision as recommendations or conditions, reminders, if you will, in the permit. Do I hear such a motion?
One point, Michael, and maybe it also applies to the one before. Do we have to mention the applicant wants waivers?
Yes.
Okay. Marcus Phelps, make the motion.
Okay. You know what, Marcus, hold that thought. Why don't we, Philippe, if you could do me a favor, can you just bring those up?
The Sunnyside?
No, for the, for.
Oh, yep, right here. Yep.
Yeah. The waivers.
Yep, waivers for two states, yep.
just give me one moment. I just need to pull up the. All right. So H4, KL, and Q3C. Okay. So these are sort of all related to the information to be submitted with a stormwater management plan. So I think we can group this together. Do I hear a motion to grant a waiver from the requirements of Chapter 185, Section 36.1, H for K, L, and Q3C with respect to this application? Anybody want to make a motion?
Marcus Phelps will make the motion.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Richard Ottinger, second.
All right. We'll do a roll call vote. Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Richard Ottinger, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Jessica Thornton, aye.
Okay. Now, do I hear a motion to grant the stormwater management permit with inclusion of 1, 3, and 4 from the DPW comments?
So moved.
David Sutton? Dave Sutton, is that you? You make a motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry, I just didn't catch it. Do I hear a second?
Dave
Second.
Spina, second.
Whatever.
Who seconded?
Let
We'll let
Dave-
Dave go this
Dave,
time.
I think I.
We'll let
Whichever.
Dave get this one in.
Sounds
So
good.
we'll do a roll call vote. Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Richard Ottinger, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Jessica Thornton, aye.
Okay. So that's all set. Again, Philippe, prepare it and vote on it at the June 30th meeting.
Good.
All right. Let's see where we're at.
Thank you, Philip.
Yeah,
You
thank
want
you.
to stay for the rest of the meeting?
Yeah. Well, Rich, Alan, you had mentioned something about sticking around for the east side or the west side, I mean?
If you wanted to, yeah, sure. Randy, you're going to stay for that also?
Yes, I am.
We're
Okay, thank
doing it right now.
Okay.
If you guys want to stay for that. It should be reasonably quick.
It's going to be just a discussion.
Yeah.
I'll stick around for it.
Okay.
So 8 p.m. bond reduction for Greens West Covenant revision discussion. Alan, I'll let you take it with, why don't we start with the west here and what's on the agenda, and we'll discuss the east afterwards.
Okay. Basically, Randy and I have been talking, and the developer has got 75% of the work completed on the west side. And we've been holding 5 lots. It's a bond in lieu of covenants. And what has happened is they've approached Randy with some facts and figures, and they are correct. And it would be normally for a bond, you reduce money. But what we're going to do is they have 5. They would like to have 3 reduced. The 2 remaining ones has enough capital in it to support the remaining work. Is that correct, Randy?
Yeah, that's correct.
Did you?
Covenant, it's a covenant in lieu of a bond.
Yes.
So that it basically gives the town equity in the project if the developer ever fails. So those lots could not be sold until they are released from the covenant. So the value of the remaining work is less than the value of the 2 lots that remain. So the developer is looking to release 3 lots from their covenant.
Right, Michael, you should have Randy's facts and figures.
Yeah, sorry. Let me just pull that up. Give me 1 minute.
If the board was to authorize it, their attorney would still have to prepare the necessary legal document. But what they'd like to do is, with your permission, is to go ahead with that formality.
All right. Give me 1 minute. All right. Does that work?
Yes.
All right. So let's see here. All right. So yeah, so 14, 19, and 20, and there's 2 remaining, which exceed the value. All right, anybody have any questions on this? I can pop over to the last page here so you guys can see that, but. No questions? All right, Randy, you're good with everything, obviously. All right. So that, let me just see if there's anything.
Basically, what's happened in the past is the board authorizes the release of 3 lots, holding the 2, and with a covenant in lieu of a bond.
Yep. So what we'll do is just prepare a memo. Does that need to go to the town clerk?
No, this would go to the lawyer for them. I think his name is David Charar. And what he would then do is he will then just revise the existing covenant in lieu of bond to only have the 2 lots.
We don't have to do it. It doesn't go anywhere else internal to the town. It's just us and sending
Right.
it.
Yeah, it's not a cash bond or letter of credit.
Right.
If it was a cash bond or letter of credit, it would go to Michelle.
But they don't have any record of any of this stuff. This is just simply on us.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So
Alan, do you know if anybody from the town has to sign that document that's prepared by the developer's lawyer?
No, because there's no money change. It's a recommendation of the planning board.
Okay.
To alter the covenant in lieu of bond.
all right. Well, we'll send a memo over to the attorney. We'll prepare it. Just shoot it over to me, Alan, and I can sign off on it and we'll shoot it over.
Okay.
All right, and this was, hold on one second. Why did I? Oh, that's for East. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I put one in the wrong folder. All right. So that's all set with West.
Well, yeah, East wasn't on the agenda, but it came in at the same time. And what they've done is they've done a spreadsheet showing there's approximately $1.7 million worth of work to be done. And what they'd like to do is put up 11 lots with for a covenant in lieu of a bond. And again, Randy and I have looked at the numbers, and as well as there's an affidavit. If you were to bring that up at the end, the realtor has put a price on the lots showing that. It looks like it, right, Randy? Is that it, Randy?
Yeah, there's the letter.
And there's this, I think if you scroll down more,
No, here's the,
yeah, those are the 11 lots shown. The ones that are in the red.
so those are the prices that are assigned to those, but we actually have that, I think, in, oh, I'm sorry, you're right, Alan, there was two, no. Let's see here. It's the second page of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, these numbers came in today. Which lots are being tagged to be included with the covenant, and the prices that you're seeing on the list here.
You're okay with that, Randy?
I guess when I first look at it, it seems, some of the value of these lots seems high. I know on the east side, they're selling those lots, I believe, for about $100,000 or $110,000. I'm not a real estate agent, so I mean,
Yes.
I can't.
Yeah, some of the ones on the west side are going for 135 now. And these lots are, I can't say better. They have more of a view.
Yeah, they do have a better view. And I did look online today. There is one lot that's in Southwick, a one building lot. It's just under 1 acre on Lauren Lane that is on the market for $165,000.
Okay.
So other than maybe being a little high, I don't have any issues with it, with the numbers they present.
And even if, even a little high because of the number, we're still, still not taking a lot off if we went down a little bit, right? I mean, it's if you're 5, 10, 15,000 off on some of them,
Yes.
Cumulatively, it's still a pretty decent number.
Yeah, correct. And as they start building, the value of remaining work is going to go down.
Right.
So as soon as they start clearing and putting in drainage and paving roads, it's no longer going to be $1.7 million. It'll be dwindled down as construction continues.
Yeah.
They have to put quite a bit of infrastructure in just in order to sell the first lot and first house.
And let me just, let's see. Yeah, so, and I kind of flipped through this one before, but this is, and it's similar to the other side, the structure, but this is the sort of cost estimate and how they get to that, into that 1.7 number.
Yeah, and the second to last column, you can see the percent complete, and there's a lot of zeros there.
Right.
So.
Right. Okay. All
Could
right.
you bring Michael, bring the plot plan up again where it had the numbers in red? That shows a good location of those lots.
Yeah, basically they're all off of Blackstone Drive, which is the longer of the cul-de-sacs on the street. Yeah. Those actually look over the brook, the creek, and down onto the cul-de-sac looks down over the College Highway.
I mean, I assume it's sort of the latter part of the construction, right? I mean, they're going to be doing the others first and getting to that.
Right, because what they have to do is they have to, Doral Lane and Blackstone Drive, they've got to loop the water line to come down into those roads before it can go down into Pebble Beach and Blackstone.
Yep.
So a bulk of the work is going to be towards the Tannery Road area before they can service those. So like I said, they have to put quite a bit of infrastructure in to support the Tannery Road sections.
Is the water line, where's the water line looping off of College Highway, connects in College Highway?
It is not going all the way to College Highway. It is being looped off Tannery Road. But there are provisions for a future loop if it's ever needed, off the back end of Blackstone Drive all the way down to Tannery. You can see that.
You can see it's colored and dotted.
Yeah, that's a potential location for a future water line if it's ever needed. Wetland, or at least one large wetland and stream crossing that would be required. So we met with a developer about that, and we are okay with the plan as shown, showing the loop off of Tannery Road.
So Marcus, they're going to come in off of Tannery Road, loop 3 through, and then come back down to Tannery Road at a different location.
Okay, yep.
It's going to be a figure 8. Look like a figure 8.
Okay, any other questions from board members about that? Okay.
So again, Michael, we can prepare a memo to be sent to the attorney representing them regarding the official paperwork of a covenant in lieu of a bond.
Yeah, I assume it needs to go to Mark Begline too.
Well, what they'll do is they'll prepare the necessary legal documents, and then those final legal documents will then go to Mr. Begline.
Okay, you haven't been sending the memos to him? He doesn't get those memos? He just gets the final documents?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And he's actually in the process of reviewing the other legal documents for the east side at this time. And they were just waiting for lots to be used and, the legal description.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just trying to get him a little more billable work, I mean, it's trying to help him out. Okay. So that's all set. Now on to 81087 Granville Road, A&R. Yeah, let me pull.
Thank you, Randy.
Thanks, Randy and Philippe. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, Mike, you're all set with that tree hearing? I have no issues on it on my end.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Just, quickly. I saw your email, so that's all set. So you give us authority. If we change it, I'll certainly email you, but you give us authority to, oh, you know what? You need a vote on it though. Let's do that quickly so we can get you out of here.
Okay.
I sent out, and I can pull it up right now. Thanks, Randy, for reminding me of that. No reason for you to stay around the whole rest of the time. There's a decision. A draft got sent around. I made just a few changes just to reflect that this is both a public shade tree, I think is the phrase from the statute, as well as a tree on a designated scenic road. So there are two statutes that apply. I put both of them in there. I think I sent everybody the link to this document. I think I sent it directly to Randy, but a link to everybody else. And it's pretty straightforward. We've done these before, but this one is just to allow for necessary drainage construction, and it limits it to the removal of that one tree that was presented. at the hearing. Anybody have any questions on the decision? Comments, changes, anything else? Okay, so why don't we do a motion to accept the decision for the tree removal on Fred Jackson Road? We'll do a roll call vote. Well, do I hear a motion, actually? I'm sorry.
Marcus Phelps will make the motion.
Second.
Richard Ottinger, second.
All right, we'll do a roll call vote, which would include the tree warden. Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Richard Ottinger, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Jessica Thornton, I.
Randy Brown, aye.
Okay, so Randy, I just to confirm, since you're on, before you leave, you're giving us authority. I'm going to put electronic signature here for your name, so that'll be, under the current orders, we can do that rather than have everybody have to sign them. So you're giving authority to put your electronic signature on this decision.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're all set with that. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you all. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go to 87 Granville Road, A&R. Alan, if you want to tell us about this, that would be great.
Okay, Michael, did you get the two, did you get the copies of it? Copies of the two A&Rs?
The plans?
Yes.
Yeah, can you see them right now?
No, I can just see the greens at the east.
Let me, hold on. Oh, that's right. I'm sharing hold on. Sorry. I'm used to doing this on the iPad and not on my.
Okay, the one that you're looking at now is, these are properties off of Granville Road owned by the Griors. And it was approved by the planning board 7/6/99. Unfortunately, it was never filed with the Hamden County Registry of Deeds. And the Christie, unfortunately, her husband passed away, and she did not know where those plans were. There's two lots that they're trying to sell on Granville Road. The two that are up at top. So I had suggested for her to go to her surveyor to get a new Mylar. Unfortunately, the surveyor had passed, and nobody could supply the Mylar. So she then, her only other option was the registry would not take the blue line and have them make a Mylar out of it. They wanted the original signatures. So she paid a surveyor to recreate the map. And while she was at it, they did the whole property. It wasn't just the two lots, lot 1 and lot 2. She had the whole property surveyed. So Mike, if you go to the newer,
Which one is up? The older one right now?
that's the oldest one.
All right.
Or is it, what's the date on? No, that's got the signatures on it, so that's the old one.
Yeah, the one before said 6/1/2020.
Yes.
That one.
So it's unfortunate, and nobody on the board was around on that. So we decided it would be best to have a map. Plus another surveyor really doesn't want to copy theirs. And, okay, now that is, what's the date on that one?
June 1st of 2020.
Okay, no, That is the new one. That is the new A&R
Yeah.
by R.A. Parisi Associates. So on that map, parcel 1A and 2A are the lots that were in question. So and we do have,
Right here.
like I said, we do have the original blue line in the old one, and it matches pretty, you know, and there's a little bit of deviation, but it does not affect the frontage nor the area.
Is this R40 zone?
Yes, it is. Each one of them has at least 200-foot frontage, and they're 2 acres, a little in excess of 2 acres.
It's actually the old pumpkin patch when I was a kid.
So it's unfortunate. We come across this quite often where people create the map, and once it becomes buildable lots, the assessors tax them at a higher amount. So what they do is they hold on to the Mylar, and then if they get a buyer, then they file the Mylar, because there's quite a bit of difference from a vacant lot to a buildable lot. So it just got lost in her house, or so it was an unfortunate situation.
21 years.
Yes.
Stevie got killed riding an ATV.
Yes, unfortunately, yeah. He was a contractor in town for quite some time.
She's one of Joe Ryan Willis's daughters.
Yes.
So is it up past Bugby Road?
It's
Yes.
just to the
on
west
Bugby,
of
going down
Bugby
the street
Road.
on the left-hand side. The big field, Marcus.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pretty wide open.
I thought that had already been subdivided.
Well, the larger parcel that you see that has a tongue coming out to Bugby, that's an approved estate lot, and there's
Okay.
already a house on that.
Yeah.
That's where she
And then
lives, I
lot
think.
3A is a relative of hers, there's already a house on that also.
Okay, good.
3A, I believe, is her father-in-law, and the big lot is where she lives, unless she
Yes.
sold her house.
Yeah, that actually goes back. There's a house and there's a gravel permit.
It's actually shared driveway there.
The back of it.
So they're gonna be given two separate numbers. We're looking at, the whole thing now is 87, right?
Right, that's what it's listed at.
Yeah.
But we're basically asking for an A&R of the lots as shown on the most current plan. So we've got basically the 2 rubber boot scenario. We have one we have a blue line, and now we're going to have a newer blue line.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry it's folded. It's just that this didn't come in electronic format. This gentleman he's an older surveyor, a very good surveyor. So you can tell it's been hand done. But he's certifying to it.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
My question would be, Michael, if you're going to approve it as an A&R, is we have to get signatures on the Mylar
Yeah,
and a couple of the blue lines,
right.
and the town hall is not open. So Megan or myself, we could set up a time, meet in the parking lot and have them do it there. Or I know other people have obligations, is to try to work around that. Because I don't think you can do it electronically format on this, electronically signatures.
So, yeah, why don't we table that? Let's just get through these A&Rs and then we can figure out the time frame for doing that.
Okay.
I have it in my notes here. Any other comments or questions? Okay. All right. Do I hear a motion on that?
Make a
So
motion.
moved.
Oh, Mr. Sutton,
Yes. What?
you made a motion.
I did. I did.
Oh, Utzinger. Okay.
All right. Second.
Marcus
Somebody wants
Phelps.
to be the first one, then no one wants to second it, huh?
We want to stay here all night. Marcus Phelps, second.
All right. We'll do a roll call vote. Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Richard Ottinger, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Okay. So let's get to the second A&R, which is College Highway. Give me a minute and I will.
Hey, Doug, you falling asleep there.
What's that?
I'm watching Doug. He's fading out on us.
It's a planning board meeting.
It's like watching
Spent 10 years keeping awake for these. You don't need to spend another.
I'm trying to do some other stuff just to make sure everything else is going along here, folks.
How are we doing?
You guys are doing fantastic.
Let's share this screen here.
Hey, Doug, I heard Mark's not having any shows this year.
No, he canceled all year.
That stinks.
Okay.
Okay, if you zoom in a little bit,
Pun intended.
Yeah.
this is a this is where the Avon Funeral Services is, as well as the Dollar General. And if you can see the dotted line that used to bisect the two parcels. What they've done is they've reconfigured the where the two buildings are, and they have the necessary, they have more than enough necessary frontage, as well as they have more than enough area, and that dotted line will go away. So what's called parcel A will be 42.7 acres, a large parcel. This is all this is owned by Del Palma. And so it's basically it's a boundary line adjustment. So the dotted lines will go away, and then you'll have down where the two buildings are, you can see the darker bold line with the solid dots at each corner, as well as the measurements. And that's referred to as parcel B, which is 1.91 acres. And then there'll be a large parcel A, which will have 42.7 acres. And again, parcel A has the necessary frontage. This is in the BR zone. So they have the necessary acreage as well as the frontage.
Any
Any
questions?
idea what he's planning?
No, I do know that the land to the north of him, that is just before the Westfield Brewery, and he has purchased that also.
Oh, he did?
Where it says
Purchased the brew-
SHWZ. He purchased that, I want to say last year.
He purchased the brewery? Chuck's?
No, there's a vacant piece of land. There's actually a gate there, and it used to be a
Yes.
driveway, and there was a duplex at the top of the property. And
No.
no,
Yeah, they tore the house down, so
yeah,
it's,
what I'm just for point of reference, the house is no longer
Yeah.
there.
Right.
And he hasn't really said what he's going to do, but I would suspect he's going to come in with businesses down low and possibly residential up high. But he doesn't like to share what he's thinking.
Josh.
Anything else from the board? Or town officials, for that matter?
Where is this again?
Between
Well,
Tractor Supply and Chuck
Yeah,
Stick
Tractor
House.
Supply.
Funeral
Yeah,
home.
if you're looking at the plan, Tractor Supply, you can see it's labeled Tractor Supply is on the left-hand side. Then you've got the Dollar General, and then you have the little building that has the funeral services
Oh,
package.
right. Gotcha.
And if you were to continue a little further north, there's vacant land before the brewery.
Yep.
The
So
Wolf-
he's putting the two commercial buildings on one lot.
Right, because he owns all of the land.
Yeah, he was talking about a grocery store at one point back there.
Really?
Good.
That's opposite Tannery, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Pretty
yes,
close. Yeah.
just about opposite Tannery.
How about a Whole Foods?
All these,
I know, because I was out on that property when they were coming in for their building. It's pretty wet. There's a wetland figure that runs down through the middle of that project.
All right. Everybody else set with this? Yes, yes, okay. Do I hear a motion?
make a motion to endorse the ANR for whatever addresses in College Highway.
Yeah, it's 681 and 691.
681 and 691. Marcus Phelps made a motion.
Do I hear a second?
Come on, Dave.
We'll do a roll call vote.
Dave, be a second. Okay.
Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Rich Hutzinger, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Okay. All right. That takes care of that. Now we just have a few decisions and minutes to deal with. Why don't we do the minutes first, since that's easy enough. Everybody get a chance to look at the minutes, and I can bring them up here if anybody wishes to look at them. I know Jessica had made some edits to them. Those were incorporated. I can't remember if I did anything to them.
You didn't make any changes after you incorporated mine, is what you mean?
Yeah, I don't think I'm just looking through it again, other than maybe like a spacing or something was on the computer I was using was not right. I might have changed that, but I don't think I made any substantive changes. Yeah, so any questions about this? No? Okay, do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of May 26th.
Do I hear?
Second the motion.
All those, or we'll do a roll call vote since it's on Zoom here. Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Rich Hutzinger, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Jessica Thornton, aye.
Okay. Let's go. We already did the Fred Jackson decision. Let's do the Hudson Drive.
Those are going to be electronic signatures, Mike?
Yeah, so we'll do the same. Yeah, we'll do the electronic signatures on there. I'm assuming, certainly speak now if you have an issue with it, but by voting on these here today, you are giving your authority to put the electronic signature on whether it's a decision or minutes or what have you. And so those will be created and submitted that way rather than us physically signing them, other than obviously the Mylars and plans. But, that'll be the process, unless anybody has any objection.
No objection.
Okay. So let's turn to Shaker Farms gravel permit. So this did not have many changes at all. It's pretty much the same. Same decision from before. Just trying to grab, it's actually in here a couple places. I go by it. Let's see. All right, so 19, actually there's one before it too.
Yeah, there's College Highway.
No. There's a paragraph in here. Did I share the screen or did I not share the screen? I didn't share the screen. All right, so I'm looking at something you guys are not looking at. All right, that's easier. So where is the wells?
Yeah, basically the problem we had at the meeting was
Oh, here we go.
they
Number
broke one of the
16,
wells.
right? Yeah, 16.
And 19.
Highlight.
19 does it as well. But 16, minimum of 2 monitor wells, one northwest and the other southeast on the property shall be monitored. So, that's specifically on there. There was agreement to install the second well at the meeting. So, we can kind of monitor that and make sure that they are doing that, since there was really only one well for the entirety of those 2 years before. Okay. Anybody have any questions on this? All right. Do I hear a motion?
Marcus Phelps make a motion to approve this special permit for Shaker Farms earth excavation, is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Hudson Drive.
Sorry, Hudson Drive.
Second.
Second,
We'll do a roll call vote. Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Richard Ottinger, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Jessica Thornton, aye.
I don't think Dave was here. Were you at that meeting, Dave?
Oh, Dave Spina
I
was.
was I thought I was. I remember the discussion about the well, unless it was just afterwards.
Okay.
Was
I had a question on that when he voted for Fred Jackson decision.
Did he
as
vote on
well.
Fred
He
Jackson?
wasn't at the meeting last time.
Yeah, so we'll just omit Dave Spina's,
That's fine.
because these 3 were from the last meeting, Dave, that you weren't there on.
Was it? All right.
I'm sure, I can't remember when you joined. We may have done this
2 years ago.
2 years ago if you
Oh,
were
maybe
there.
that's what I remember then.
But we've also discussed it as, in the town planners report and what have you coming up. So,
That's fine.
Well, we've got enough signatures, right? We're good.
Yes.
We are good. All right. Hold on one second here.
Now, Michael, you're going to be sending these decisions and minutes to Megan with the signatures so she can file them in the town clerk's office.
I will.
Okay. Because Megan, there's been a little tweak here and there, from what I understand.
Yes.
Is Megan still there?
she's muted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
All right. I don't know. All right, well, let me share this. I don't know, for some reason, the final version is not there. I just went through it, and maybe I just didn't save it the correct way. So here's, excuse me, 797 College Highway. This is the, just reverting back to the used vehicle sales. From the original one, the only substantive change,
He did submit a new plan. At the last meeting, we wanted him to show one handicap space. And we
Yeah.
also wanted him, he left 3 customer service areas, sort of like in the middle of the lot. And so he had given that back to us. Unfortunately, it's not in a electronic format, but those are the 2 changes that was requested of him.
I thought we had more than that, and I just, not right.
I thought he included something about lights too. Lighting would stay on the site. The poles were 15 feet high or something like that. I thought.
Yeah, we do have, there is a provision for that in the decision.
Yeah. I think those are the only 2, the parking and the lighting.
Right.
Looks like something's weird going on there, Michael, with the terms and conditions.
Gotta approve the edit change.
Yeah, for some reason, the final one did not, I don't know what's going on here, but, easily correctable, but I just don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and that's not.
That looks like some changes you made.
Yeah, I see red there
In
in
the
page
purple,
4.
Just have to approve the changes, Mike, if they are correct.
No, but this is not a,
You're not showcasing a Word document right now, it's PDF.
no, but this is,
Oh, estate lot. Yeah. Got some crazy language in there. Sewage disposal, what's number?
Yeah, I don't think that's the correct, it doesn't seem like it's the correct one.
oh, that's just, I think that got added. I don't know if I did something, but. All right. Sorry.
Yeah, because the one I have is only 3 pages long.
No, but yes. So what we did, Alan, the biggest change was, I think you were probably using an older one where we didn't have the special permit criteria. So we changed it to add in specifically those 17.
Oh, you added the 17 in it?
Correct.
And to be fair, I was typing and copying it myself at 11 p.m. last night, so there could be some sewage words or things in there
No,
that don't
I think I did that by accident.
Megan, that's going to be a total change of what you prepared. Not total, but additional.
I'll send it to you, Megan, with the signatures on it anyways. So you'll
Okay.
have it.
No problem.
I think I put in specific findings because there wasn't any in there. Just pretty straightforward that the former pre-existing use would be established, and that it basically conforms to the uses in that area. That's probably what I did. I probably cut and pasted into there, and then that got carried on over here. All right.
Yeah, there's the lighting.
There's number 10, Mark. Yeah.
All right, so lighting.
Yeah.
We have submitting where's the parking spaces? Comply with the zoning and ensure adequate customer parking, including one.
Yeah, the revised plan shows the handicap, and it shows customer parking.
Hold on, 5 and 6 are kind of.
They look okay.
But in addition to the sign requirements of section 185-29, doesn't make any sense.
No, take out the 2. In addition, the sign requirements. Just take out the 2. I don't know if it's in addition. It might just be just the sign requirements. Yeah.
Okay. Why?
So on number 8, we're not going to allow any detailing. It says no vehicle repair, detailing, or other maintenance service.
No, we're not allowing that because that would fall underneath what's called a garage. And there's other, and he said he was just going to be selling them.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you define detailing. I mean, to me, that's
Detailing is primarily painting.
Oh, it is? Okay.
It's not washing cars and things like that.
Oh, it's not polishing and all, cleaning. Yeah.
All right. So that's all right. So we have parking, lighting,
Signs, lighting, customer service, and handicap accessibility. Under number 6, you have handicap.
Was there anything else? Anybody? No?
No.
All right. Okay. Everybody good with this decision?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to accept this decision?
Marcus Phelps, make that motion.
Custer, second.
I do a roll call vote. Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Richard Ottinger, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Jessica Thornton, aye.
Okay. All right, so that's all set. Make sure that's saving because I don't know what I did last time. Okay. All right, so I think we are all set. Anything else that needs to be brought up?
We just have to talk about getting those 2 A&Rs signed.
Oh, yeah, thank you. My schedule is, reasonably flexible. Is there, I'm thinking, Dave Sutton, I know you're pretty much everywhere and, in this state and others. So can you, is there a time that works best, or do you want me just to swing over to your house sometime or you want to swing over here and?
Yeah, I can swing over there. We can get together.
All right, we do. There's one that they sort of they have a sale pending, to get, and they need that Mylar into the registry. Is that something we can do sooner rather than later?
You want to get together sometime tomorrow?
Sure.
The weather's supposed to be pretty foul, so I'm going to be pushing a job back.
Okay. All right.
I may not be
So
able to do it tomorrow. I'm not
I know
sure.
the town hall is still closed, but Megan, are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay. You know, underneath the desk where we put them on top, there's a Mylar and there's special pins that are inside of a round cookie, candy holder
Mhm.
that are used for signing the Mylar. And then they would need a stamp. There's a stamp in that same box saying.
Okay.
approved. And then there's typically 3 Mylar. There's a Mylar for each one, and there's 3 copies for each one that they'll sign in a ball and an ink pen.
Okay.
If it rains tomorrow, be careful. Don't get anything wet.
Yes. So the thing is, we would have to get those to Michael's house.
I will swing over. What are you going in tomorrow, Megan?
Yes, I am.
What time do you get in there?
Hey, Mike, you got a long pen? Because we got to be 6 feet apart.
I'm hoping to be there by 11. I'm in the tail end of homeschooling, so.
Okay. It's been there and I feel your pain.
Yeah.
So, why don't you either give me a call or text? You can just text me.
Okay.
And I'll swing over, grab stuff, and then I'll coordinate. Marcus, you're gonna be around tomorrow?
Yes, I'll be picking strawberries in the morning, but other than that, nothing. You can't get in my driveway, though. Some guy poured a bunch of cement.
It looks good. It looks good.
Yeah.
All right. So
Call me. I'll come over to your house, whatever.
yeah, we'll figure that out. And then Jessica, you're around?
Do you need my signature on anything?
Yeah, you were voting on. Oh, actually, no. These are just A&Rs, so I don't need your signature. Okay, there you go.
Well, are you going to stamp? Are you going to sign the site plan for the used car lot sales on College Highway?
True. We do have.
I am here and I'm only 5 houses away from Megan, so you won't have to go far.
Okay. That's easy enough. All right, and then Dick, are you around?
Catch. I got a couple appointments in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. Give me a call.
All right, just yep, I'll give you a call. And
Do you have my cell?
just email it to me, but I think I do.
Okay.
And then Dave Spina, you around at all?
I am. Yep, I'm around between 11 and 4, basically.
Okay. All right, so I'll give you a call and coordinate that.
All right, you got my number?
Yeah, if I don't have numbers, I'll shoot people an email tonight.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get that signed tomorrow, and so that we can get that, at least that one that needs to be filed to let the sale go through, done, reasonably quickly. All right.
Do we have a lot on the agenda for the June 30th meeting?
Right now, I think we have, what was it, Alan?
It's a mixed use on College Highway, just south of the Hash House.
Yeah.
Dr. Walls, who came in, he asked for a zone change. He's coming in for our medical building and 2 retail buildings on, we haven't scheduled them yet, but and then the other one we have is the Verizon Tower.
Not on for the 30th, though, right?
No, it's not on I have things prepared because we would have to have those things advertised on the 16th and the 23rd. So we would have to give it to the Westfield Evening News Thursday or Friday of this week. But what we can do, and we've talked about holding off on the Verizon Tower, and we could probably start the one for the the doctor's offices.
Yeah, so I think we do that. You know, Doug was kind enough to remind me that we have to reorganize the board as well, so that'll be on there, or at least vote on board positions. And
I'll be zooming in from the Cape, so just wanted to figure out what the timeline was.
if, you know, and if people don't attend, they get, you know, assigned to whatever committees what we feel like assigning them.
Oh, Community
Keep that in
Preservation Committee, yeah.
You
Community
know,
Preservation.
Dave
Okay,
Sutton's
he's
been on
gonna
the-
sign me anyway, but I'll be there.
So those are the only two things that I know of right now. Is there anything else, Alan?
No, so are we going to schedule the mixed use?
We'll
in the
schedule
BRs?
that.
Okay,
Schedule that for the 30th. You know, and if there's little things that come in, we can kind of deal with those A&Rs or whatever too, signs.
okay,
All right. And then we'll sort of take the temperature of stuff on the 30th. We'll have a better idea, I'm assuming, of where things are going forward.
okay.
All right.
Michael, I see there's a person on here, Aaron Jingaleski. Must be a visitor.
No, it's Crestview Construction.
Aaron Jude, that's Crestview Construction. He's got come in because he's in charge of the west,
Oh,
Greens West and the Greens East.
Okay.
yeah. So Aaron, I don't, let me see if are you muted?
Yeah, I missed that. I
So,
came in late.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
Michael has good news.
yeah, no, we did. I'm so, you know, and I forget, I thought it was after 8, but maybe I was wrong. But we dealt with it when Philippe and Randy Brown were still on the call. So to get them off, we dealt with it after they were on. So it's fine. We're going to send over memos to the attorney, you know, granting the two requests for the east and the west as far as the covenants and the release of the lots from the covenant.
Okay, great.
All right.
So Aaron, what your attorney's going to have to do, he's going to have to revise the existing covenant on the west side.
Yep.
And create a new covenant on the east side.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Okay.
Thanks for seeing me there. I was hoping to hear something. So,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
all right. Thank you guys.
All right. So Sutton, I think you're up.
Make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
Marcus Phelps will second that motion.
All right. We'll do again roll call vote because of the setting. Michael Doherty, aye.
Marcus Phelps, aye.
Richard Singer, aye.
David Sutton, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Jessica Thornton, aye.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and y'all have a good night.
What about that?
Megan, can you